everybody. Welcome back to Keeping Up with Kate. And finally, 1 month later, we are going to film episode 2 of my Momma's cancer journey. So because there's so much to it and there was a lot of feedback and interest from the other one, I want to spread this out a little bit better so that you guys get a full idea of the whole process, the whole journey. So this one is going to be totally focused on the treatment side of things. There are a lot of surgeries, there are a lot going on, but we're just going to narrow this one down to the treatments and then the effects of those treatments. So let's get started.
Okay.
Walk me through it.
Okay. Well, once we got a plan together, we had to do two different kinds of chemo, and then it was followed by radiation.
Right, but didn't we have a certain plan set and then that was switched?
Well, I spoke to the first doctor, and he had a plan written out, but I wanted the PET scan, and then I asked for a second opinion because I didn't want to do the PET scan. So I asked for the second opinion, but he did make me an appointment in Lexington, but then he also decided to go ahead and let me have the PET scan. So once I had the PET scan, I was at Lexington for my appointment when that office called me to say they wanted me to come back in, and I told them I was already in Lexington waiting on an appointment, and they said that all the information had been sent to them, that they would discuss it with me. So when I went in, they said that that PET scan did show that all the cancer was not gone, that they had found cancer in a lymph node which was underneath the muscle wall on the left side. This was after the surgery.
The single mastectomy.
Yeah, the single mastectomy. Yeah, that was after that because I had to have treatment before I could have anything else done.
Okay.
Because they found out it was triple negative.
To clear that up, she had a single mastectomy.
It's confusing.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in the surgery part. That's why it was kind of got left out there. But she had the single mastectomy, and then going forward, they made a treatment plan for everything that was going on. But they do not. It is not protocol to do a PET scan. A PET scan is what would show you if there were any cancer cells left in the body, anything like that. But that's not protocol, apparently.
Yeah.
So she decided that she did not care if it was a protocol. You told me you just had a feeling, right?
I did. I had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. And I just needed confirmation that even though my surgeon felt positive that she had gotten everything, I needed for myself to know, and I just felt like something was off. But I needed to know before I went any further that it wasn't anywhere else, that it for sure hadn't spread.
So the PET scan comes back, and if there is cancer underneath the lymph nodes, all right. So the treatment plan that they had set up for you is kind of out the door at this point, right? They have to revamp.
Right. Well, that's the doctor that I went to originally. What he had planned out. That's what we would have went with had we not done the PET scan and found out that there was more. So yeah, that plan would be out. It was out the window, and we had to switch because at that point we had to add. I would have just been doing one type of chemo for I think 12 sessions. But now that I still had cancer in a lymph node, we had to change that, and we had to do 3 of the red devil, followed by 12 of the others. And I can't remember all the names.
Yeah, lots of stuff, lots of big words. So, side note on all of that is that if you have a gut feeling about something, you should probably listen to it, because we would have not even had the correct treatment, really. We would have had a lower treatment is really what it would have been, right? Just not as intense of a treatment, which therefore probably would not have cleaned everything up the way that it was supposed to. So trust your gut. Red devil chemo treatment is
Rough.
It's the most intensive chemo treatment, right?
It's pretty, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Pretty tough.
And it is.
It gets its nickname. Well,
its real
that's
name.
how you spell the actual name.
Its real name is Adriamidin. So I don't know if I'm
Maybe.
pronouncing that correctly,
Maybe.
but we're gonna go with it. But they call it the red devil because of the color, right?
It's actually red as it's
Like blood red.
coming down to the tube.
Blood red, and that's a weird thing. That's what I watched you get those treatments. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing to watch that going in. You had a port.
Not yet.
You didn't for the red.
Not in the
treatment?
beginning. No, not.
You got that put in later.
Got that put in later.
So either way, when it's dripping down into the thing and it's blood red, it's like the opposite of when people are drawing blood. And you see, it's just a weird thing to watch. So let's talk about what they told you going in, because I know whenever you went in for treatment for the red devil chemo in itself, that they are very open about the side effects of it and what can come of it because it's so intensive. Mm-hmm. They try to prepare you. So tell me about them preparing you and how that went.
Well, they do let you know that it is very intense. So therefore, your hair is going to fall out a whole lot quicker with that one than it would with the other. But it's going, depending. Everyone's different, but more than likely your hair's coming out. But it affects your memory. Different things, but not everybody experiences everything the same. So I'll just talk about what I experienced. Because the list that they give you is forever long. But my hair fell out pretty quickly. I had the first Red Devil treatment
the day before my graduation.
The day before your graduation, yes, because I remember at your graduation, everybody was fanning me because you literally have hot flashes with that treatment. Mm-hmm. You just burn up and you sweat a lot, or I did. But getting that first treatment was crazy. They come into the room and the nurse is completely covered from head to toe.
It's crazy. Just a side note on that, the toxins that you have to pump into your body to heal your body of something. It is insane.
It's basically killing everything out, good and bad.
Exactly. So if you have anywhere to fund your money, cancer research is one of those things to fund your money into, because it's not where it needs to be at this point, because you're just killing. I mean, it's crazy.
I lost my hair pretty quickly. I had the neuropathy, which I still have that, but not nearly as bad. When I was going through the treatments, there was times when I couldn't feel my fingers and my toes at all. But now, the remainder, and this is, I'm, 5 years? 4, going on 5?
Yeah, because we finished up in 2015.
Yeah.
So going on 5.
Going on 5 years in remission. So I still like my fingertips and the tips of my toes, the top of my toes, still have that. The memory thing was probably the biggest thing, because I did forget things, but maybe I have bad memory. I was going to have bad memory anyway, because it never got better. That's one thing that I really struggle with, is that I do forget things pretty quickly. I can be in a mid-sentence and totally forget what I'm talking about and just be like, what? What was I even talking about? But so the memory is a problem still.
Yeah. When I guess I was still living at home, but this all happened as my transition from high school to college. And she was real big about me, communicating, where are you, what are you doing, whatever. And I would, but she would forget that I would do that. And I would call and say, hey, I'm going to so-and-so's house, whatever. And then I would get a call later at night or something. You did not tell me. You didn't tell me that. No, yes, I did. So
start writing things down.
Yeah.
Let's see. During the treatments, then after I had the 3 Red Devil, then we went into the 12. And to be honest, I cannot remember what that second one was called.
It was a chemo treatment that was just a lower intensity than what the Red Devil. It's what she would have been on by itself.
I think
had we not found
the cancer
that was still there.
So, fatigue was really bad. I was really fatigued. Could get tired very quickly. So I slept a lot. I rested a lot. Tried to keep moving. Tried to, get to all the ball games and still do all of that. But, it would wear me out. It would wear me out. I would come home and go straight to bed. So the fatigue was a big one. At times when I would go for treatment, your blood count has to be right. A lot of times my white cell count would be off. So in order to increase that white count, they would give me a shot. And I wish I could remember the name of that shot. That's the worst thing. But it definitely got your counts up.
Mm-hmm.
But that shot, literally everything that I would already be feeling was like amplified. Plus the body aches. The body aches were so different than like being sick with the flu or having a bad cold, or you literally ached, like your bones ached. And like I couldn't stand for anybody to touch me. Like if somebody would pat on me like that, or how are you doing? Literally couldn't stand it. Like couldn't have anything touch me. And those were hard. Those were really hard. I think I ended up having 3 of those shots throughout. So I was lucky. My count stayed up pretty good, but I had 3 of those, and whew, I never want to have one of those again. Those were bad.
And how long did the effects of those last? Days after? Or?
Best I can remember, I know like at least 48 hours was really bad, and then it would kind of taper off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but for 48 hours, I was out of commission.
Yeah.
Out of commission.
Gotcha. So we had 3 red devil treatments, moved into 12 treatments of a chemo that we cannot remember the name of.
It's in my notes. I have a
Yeah.
book about this big. It's in the binder.
If anybody wants to read, educate themselves. I'm transitioning into college, so I'm no longer doing the sports thing, but I'm moving into a dorm and whatever. And then I also that year did the pageant circuit. Not sure why we thought that was a good idea. I know, but like we hadn't done
because
we hadn't done
my baby girl's beautiful.
I hadn't done pageants in quite some time, and then I don't know why that season, if you think back about it, we were like, yeah, let's do pageants again. So we jumped back into that, and she was at those, she was at Caden's ball games, and all of that stuff, so and driving herself back and forth to chemo treatment, so.
Yeah.
Way to go. Way to go. And that
take that, cancer.
Is how you kick cancer's butt. Right there. So radiation. Tell me about radiation, about getting the treatments. I went to a couple of those too.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Where they're like,
I'm saying I went to a lot because I would drop you off in that one little thing.
Yeah.
Go pick something up.
Because it's really quick. You're not in there very long unless they're really busy. But I mean, you have an appointment time, and we had these in Moorhead. And I don't remember ever waiting very long at all to get back there. And once you're on the table and they have you set up and everything, you're not back there very long at all. Mm-hmm. So those appointments didn't take very long, but they did take a toll. The radiation made me very tired, so everything made me tired. I'm still tired. Let's just say, people, chronic fatigue. This girl has it. Okay, so. I don't do I mean, I make sure that I'm there for family and kids and that kind of thing, but I don't run and do a lot of the things that I used to do because I don't have the energy. But,
Well, you got your kids up and grown, so
yeah,
we take care of ourselves.
Yep, a couple more years, they'll both gain.
Well, good luck with that. So we have radiation, we have chemo. That's the end of what treatments we had. And then we go into the surgery stuff, which is a whole different video. But to end this one, I kind of want to talk about what lasting effects. So we've talked about the effects of chemo. We've talked about the effects of radiation. These are well-known stuff. If you've ever known anyone that's had cancer or went through the cancer treatments, or you've even just read about it, watched it on TV, you know what the common effects are. But what's not talked about a lot is that we are almost 5 years out. We are 5 years out from all of this, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But there are still things that affect you.
Some people can bounce back. Like I said, everybody, and this is my story, every cancer survivor has their own. Just like I think I mentioned in the first video, I didn't throw up the first time. And I give that to prayer. That was a prayer of mine, and I believe it was answered. But everybody has their own story and are affected, their body, in different ways. Where I didn't throw up, a lot of people do. My parents threw up the entire time they were going through treatments. So when I talk about what happens with me, I'm not taking away from anybody else's struggle or their journey. This is just what my outcome is. So I have the memory is an issue. So the memory is a big issue. I hate it, and I try to pretend it's not there, but it is. The fatigue is real. And that's a hard one because people want me sometimes to go do things or be able to do things that I used to do and I can't really do anymore. So that's, I know it's hard on them. Certain people in my life, it's hard for them to not understand really. They want me to be exactly like I was, and I'm pretty close to that, but
well, we're an active family too, so that's a big change.
It's a big change for me,
because we most of you know this, but I feel like this video is going to bring in people who aren't subscribers yet. So backstory on our family: my family owns a fitness center and have my entire life, and teach martial arts. So martial arts, fitness. And my brother, very athletic. I danced. Caden's very sporty. So our entire family, but you were that way as well. I mean, before, like, she was running a 7-minute mile at like 8 months pregnant. I mean, we're just active. We're very active people. We love
days.
The gym. And so now I don't think that you've lost your love for being active or getting in the gym or whatever.
Right.
But it's not as easy and it's not as often because it really can't be for you anymore.
Right. And a lot of times that's harder for people close to you to understand because it's just as hard on them when something about you changes. But yeah, I do struggle with that. My mind wants me to do and be as active and everything as I was before, but I just do the best I can do. This summer, a goal of mine is to push myself, and once this, I need sunshine, people. Come on, winter, go away.
Yeah.
But I love to be outside. We love to be out on the boat, but I love to walk. I don't run a lot anymore because I'm not as athletic as I used to be. But I'm also getting older, so the speed walking works a little better for me now than the running. I can't really run like I used to. The fatigue is one thing, but just the knees, the ankles, the back. So I do what works out for my body. And what I can do, because I don't want to hurt myself. If you hurt yourself, then you can't do anything. So
yeah, take it from the runner that tore a tendon and kept running on it. Don't do that.
You okay? Get up.
Do what you can. Yeah.
Oh, my poor kids.
Push us to the limit. Another thing that I feel like is a lasting effect that a lot of people don't talk about, and you know it, you can see it, and you can feel it on them, is that there is an emotional turmoil that takes place during all cancer treatments. But I don't think that it always ends, and I think that it has something to do with, not only is it an emotional thing anyway, it's a natural thing to feel what you feel during your treatments, but your brain chemicals and your brain synapses, I mean, here's the psych major in me coming out, but they're affected by this toxin that you're putting in your body to save your body. So it's a lasting effect, and this one's harder to talk about, but I'm kind of forcing you into it anyway. Tell me, because I personally don't think that you were a very anxious person prior to your treatments.
No.
So, can you tell me how you were affected by anxiety now?
Well, no. Before I was diagnosed, I wasn't really an anxious person. I didn't suffer from anxiety or depression. I just didn't. But afterwards, of course, there's some depression that goes along with that, just because you're dealing with all these factors. Not only are you sick and you're worried about your life and the people in your life, there goes the memory again. I was saying something there. I was going somewhere with that, but not only are you, it does make you depressed. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff going on. You don't feel good, and you don't feel like you can give 100% like you always did. So during all that, there was some anxiety and a lot of depression, but it tended to get a little bit better. But I found that losing my hair and some of the steroids and things that they put me on, the weight gain, being physically active and being as active as we are, so those changes to my body took a toll on me personally. I tried not to let that really show, because I like to try to always look like I'm in control.
Well, I think that there's also a stigma to that of you're going through all of this that seems superficial. I personally don't think that it is. I just think that that's a stigma that people think is why I shouldn't be upset because I'm losing my hair and my body's changing, because I'm doing this to save my life, and this is superficial of me to be sad about that. But I think that's so okay. Like, I can't imagine, not only, I mean, you're losing your hair, and then fast forward to the surgeries that we didn't talk about, you're losing the things that make you feel, and here we go. I'm making me cry.
I don't like to talk about this
I
stuff.
know. Don't cry. I think that being so affected by that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I just feel like people have that idea of, well, it would be superficial and bad of me to think bad about myself during this time, but that's normal.
It's really hard to explain, but you get to a point when you look in the mirror and I didn't feel like I knew the person that I was looking at in the mirror. I don't like to talk about this part of it. But I didn't feel like I knew the person I was looking at in the mirror, that I didn't know them. That wasn't me. And so coming to to be able to grasp that and to deal with all that was hard, and it's not something that honestly I dealt with that on my own, because I've never been one to like to show weakness. Have a hard time asking for help. But yeah, all that stuff was hard. And I've given you some pictures that I really don't want you to show, but I'm gonna let you show them.
We came prepared.
Sorry.
For her, I know that she obviously had a very strong dislike towards yourself during the treatments and what you look like. But I remember being so like, are you kidding me? Because you actually had such a pretty bald head. Do you remember me saying? She had such a pretty... It's true though. I'm just saying, you know how some people, like, I don't feel like if I shaved my head, I could pull it off, right? But then there's some people that you're just like, really? Are you kidding me? But she did that. She did that. Like, you had like a perfectly shaped head. How you're affected now. So during the treatments, obviously the anxiety and the depression, there's no stopping that. You're pumping chemicals. So if anybody's going through treatments right now, or you know somebody going through treatments, and they seem emotionally unstable in any way, shape, or form,
They are.
they are. But it's not anything you can control. You are literally changing your brain chemistry with every treatment that you do. So just keep that in mind. But now that we are 5 years out from this, how does that still affect you?
Well, I suffer from anxiety. I have it under control a lot of the times, but it does sneak up on me. The depression is something that I still deal with. I became, and I guess this would be the appropriate term, but I had social anxiety.
Yeah.
So bad. Like, people probably thought I was a witch or something, but I just literally couldn't be around people. And it's not that I didn't want to be around people. I would get so anxious and so nervous, and I don't know why, but I would find myself when I had to go places, I would sit by myself or away, and it wasn't that I didn't want to be around people or talk to people or didn't like people. I have no idea what it was, but I would just get so anxious, and my heart would just beat so fast, and I mean, I felt like I just wanted to just crawl in a hole somewhere where nobody could see me. And I don't know where all that came from, but I just dealt with it the best that I could, because I refused to hide away, because I was going to the ball games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was going to be there for my kids. So anybody out there that I offended along the way by you thinking I was not very sociable, I'm sorry. I wasn't very sociable because I wasn't able to be.
And so do you still, I think that your social anxiety has progressed tremendously since then.
Yes.
So do you still, now you still struggle with certain aspects of anxiety now, today, but it's less of a social aspect and more of a generalized anxiety disorder. And then the depressive episodes, are those still something that affect you?
They are, but you know, that's much better. That's much better as well too. But the scary thing about all that is you never know, or why, or what triggers it.
Isn't that the best part about mental health, all my mental health folks? Anxiety and depression, you have no idea. That makes you feel even crazier.
Yeah.
Because you're like, glad I have no
Like,
reason.
I could be totally fine and be in the best mood, and all of a sudden, it's like a switch. And I have no idea why I'm anxious, or no idea why I'm sad. But, you know, I don't, everybody copes in different ways, but I have learned ways that work best for me on how to calm myself down or get myself back to where I need to be. So I have it under control. I mean, it still happens. You can't predict it, but I mean, I'm able to have things under control.
I'm really glad that she decided to talk about this, because I had a feeling that she was going to shut me out. So I'm really glad that she decided. Personally, I relate to that more than anything, because I always thought I was the only. I remember being in middle school and starting to realize that I was different mental health wise, and I thought, I'm the only person in my family who has ever felt anything like this. They're all so put together, like whatever. Never said anything about it. And then she goes through these treatments and she starts to feel it, and I obviously do not want her to feel it by any way, shape, or form. But I was
it's
like,
nice to know that somebody gets it, right?
I get it. Yeah, I was like, I get it. So
well, you were a big help to me, you know, during a lot of that, being able to, you know, explain to me what was happening. And
well, that's why I went into psych, because I was like, I gotta explain it to myself. So my first patient. So I think we've covered most of the treatments and things like that today. You think we've covered it all?
I think so.
So these videos end up being at least good good 30 minutes long every time. But you guys, honestly, I was looking at my stats the other day, and y'all watched this. Like the last one, you watched it all the way through. So thank you for your support, but also I'm hoping that we are reaching more people and we are helping people by sharing this, because it's not shared enough. Honestly, it's not. And it's not shared open enough when it is shared. It's very touch and go when they just pick the pieces that they think are important, and that's it. So I'm hoping by splitting this up into episodes, as I've already done, it's going to be more in depth, and you guys are going to get more from it. So we will be back. The next one I want to do surgeries, and we may have to split that into two. We'll just see once we get talking how long it ends up being. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and keep on keeping up with Kate. Mom, thanks for being here.
Hi guys, see you later.